Kevin Hutton was only 23 years old when he fulfilled his ambition of getting a trainer's licence. He met his partner Donna Whitchalls through the sport, and 4 years ago she gave up a successful career to become his assistant. Both were born into the sport and have a shared vision of how things should be done.
My dad was a bookmaker for a lot of his years, and so I grew up basically at Oxford Stadium and Swindon Stadium, and Dad always owned dogs as well, so you know, a lot of memories of Sunday visits to the kennels to walk the dogs, and it kind of just followed that way really.
Was there ever anything else you wanted to do other than be a greyhound trainer?
No, it was always what I wanted to do. It really was. Unfortunately, the money wasn't in it as a kennel hand back in the day. Well, it still isn't what it should be now, but so I had to leave the industry for about 7 years. I had a good job with a local printing company, and thankfully that saved me enough money to be able to start my own kennels home.
My parents met when they were both 15, and there's a dog track in Tilehurst in Reading, and they worked there for years. And when that closed, the new Reading Stadium in Smallmead, Bennett Road, opened when I was 6 months old, and they both worked there for Bob Gillen. And 35 years later, they were still working there when it closed, and I was a part-time kennel hand. And then we went to Swindon, which is where I met Kevin. So after about a year of being there, we became friends. And
It took you a year?
I know, it took him a year, I should say. He doesn't do anything quickly, Kevin.
Obviously she was bowled over straight away, and the rest is history, yeah.
You've achieved so much in a relatively short training career. How do you think things should be done? What are your kind of beliefs in terms of training greyhounds?
I think always you should just do the best you can by them. I mean, we feed the absolute best we can. I think the food is the most important part. You know, you can do all the grooming, all the galloping, everything you want, but if you're not putting the food into them in the first place, you're wasting your time.
We feed gain 20%, bread nuggets, beef that's cooked. We didn't today, but we usually have veg, which is carrots, cabbage, beetroot, bananas, tomatoes, spinach. But we're giving because it's so warm, giving the bellies a bit of a rest. But yeah, they get very well fed here, and they also get eggs, honey, seaweed. So the list goes on and on. They eat better than us.
We've seen Donna preparing the foods here. Nice big meals, because you only feed once a day. But you're not that keen on her doing the food, are you? You're a bit OCD about the food.
Yeah, I have to feed. I have to do the feeding. So today's been a bit of an hard day actually to be pulled away from the feeding. I hate it. I'm always feeding, always.
The main thing that always strikes me about your kennels here, and we've discussed this many times, they maybe don't look the best from the outside, but the actual kennels themselves are absolutely fantastic. They're huge for a start. All the dogs laid out on clean, beautifully washed duvets. They're so content here, aren't they?
They are. They're very happy. They've got a good routine. You know, they exercise well. They're let out plenty of times. So I say that once they get into a good routine and they're well looked after, they're going to be happy. They're going to be content. And you know, I know our kennels are, you know, they're not going to win any beauty contests. You know, the buildings were put up during the Second World War. You know, but we've done what we can with them, and the insides are lovely. You know, they're superb kennels. You know, they're all freshly painted out. They've got plenty of space. They're happy. Nice duvets to sleep on. So yeah, like you say, you know, you go to maybe some kennels and it's quite noisy, but you very rarely hear a sound here.
The other thing that's quite unusual about your kennel that I really like is the fact that you have a big team here, but you each have your own dogs to look after. I guess that's advantageous in many ways, particularly if you've got nervous dogs.
I think relationship with dogs is important. It's not important to every dog, but it's important to some, and so that one-to-one interaction is key. And sometimes we get the combinations wrong, and so we move them around, so we have that option. So you've got different blocks with different styles. So if you've got a dog that perhaps isn't responding to a certain person or an environment, we can move them. So you've got dogs that prefer men, you've got dogs that prefer women, so we've got the options there. We've got all age groups as well. So yeah, we're kind of spoilt really, but I think the guys really appreciate the fact that when it goes right, they really can say, I did this, and the pride and the amount of work that goes into it is shown in the results.
We've got about 5 or 6 part-time staff on top of our normal 5 full-time, so it's a big operation, but if you're going to do the job right, you've got to have the right people around you, and we're really lucky. We've got a great team. We're big believers of physios as well. We use a lot of physios. I think to keep on top of the injuries before they become a big problem is a massive part of what we do. I've used Robert Meek from the very first day we started training. I mean, me and my dad, we used to have dogs in training with Tony Meek, his brother, and Jane, and Robert was there at the time, so we've kind of known him a long time, and he's just superb. He really is. We've added Martin Lanning to the team a couple of years ago. He flies in from Ireland to check our dogs for us as often as we can. It's difficult, obviously, but as often as we can, we get Martin over, and he was a massive part in the Wildcat dog winning the derby. He really got to the bottom of the dog, and we flew him over the day after the semi-final. We took a chance and booked him in, and hope we make the final. And yeah, he's been a godsend to us. And Mick Law as well, who's local at Swindon. He's always there for us if we need a second opinion as well. So with the vet side, we use Daniel Doherty for all our operations, and Simon Gower as well at Swindon. So we've built a really good team of people around us. But then you've got to carry it on, you've got to do the treatment, you've got to put the hours in, you know, and just give them the best you can. It's not rocket science, it's really not. You know, it's get the basics right, work hard and keep them happy. You're not going to be far away.
And I've seen you treating dogs here many times yourself. How good are you? How competent are you at taking over a dog?
Yeah, I mean, we're fairly good. I mean, I know a lot of trainers seem to think, you know, they can do everything themselves, and I'm not a believer in that. I mean, I've been around dogs a long time, but there's stuff properly trained people can find that we can't still. So I'm not big-headed enough to say, I can do everything, because we simply can't. So you need the right people around you, and ask for help when you need it.
You live about 5 minutes down the road, which is pretty handy. You're here for long days, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we start most mornings 6:30. You know, while the weather's cool, we try and get them out and get the galloping and everything done as soon as we can. And then when it's nice like this, it's lovely just to keep there all evening, just keep turning them out. Last time's about 9 o'clock this weather, so yeah, I think it makes a big difference.
You and Kevin both seem very laid-back people to me. Do you ever disagree on how you think things should be done?
No, not really. All the time is what I really want to say. Yeah, I think obviously Kevin's in charge. It's his kennel, but I push him quite hard, and I don't have any qualms about doing it. And hopefully it's for the better. And sometimes he pushes back and says, "No, leave it alone." And sometimes I go, "No, not enough." But I think that interaction works. So yeah, definitely.
You're a good team, aren't you?
I think so, yeah. We're quite different, although we've got a lot of similarities. Kevin's extremely laid back, and whilst I might seem it, I'm quite pushy as a typical woman. And so I kind of jolly him along to do things, probably try to do it a bit quicker and more, and let's try things. So yeah, and then he's really good at the technicalities of it. So I like to think we're a good team anyway.
Who's the more ambitious of the two of you?
Kevin. Yeah, I'm more emotional. I love the dogs, and as long as they're happy and they run well, and everyone loves to win, but it's not the be all and end all of life. You know, we're not curing a disease here, we're winning dog races, so we need to keep that in perspective. But if you don't have the ambition, you'll never move forward. So you've got to get the balance. But he's fairly balanced anyway. But I think that the two of us do a good combination.